It's a real pleasure on behalf of the Bermuda Business Development Agency to help launch a brand new event on the island, one that taps into trending topics and one which we will hope becomes a staple event for our calendar. Big thanks to reinsurance.com and its partners Succeedance and Chain That for making today's symposium a reality. I head up the BDA's business development initiatives for Bermuda's risk sector, and I have to say I feel quite familiar with reinsurance.com and their team, even though I've never met them. Frequently, I receive their e-alerts, breaking news bulletins, their headlines, their news stories, from what must be a mass collection of editors and reporters, because they truly keep me posted on everything that's going on, even within our own market. So thanks, guys. But seriously, keeping a firm finger on the pulse is vital, especially at a time when the risk universe is transforming so rapidly. So, a deep dive this afternoon into the topic of blockchain and the future of this industry, particularly in the Bermuda market, is very timely and appropriate. As many of you know, our economy is quickly transforming to embrace disruptive but dynamic challenges with regards to blockchain, distributed ledger technology, and digital assets. Our premier will tell you shortly, but in the past 2 months, our island has made global headlines by becoming the world's first jurisdiction to create a legal and regulatory framework governing initial coin and token offerings and digital asset businesses. That's responsible innovation. And it's what Bermuda is known for. It's why technologists, innovators from around the globe, like the founders of Binance, Shift Network, Paycase, and Consensus, are looking to our island for pioneering solutions. Last month, our agency held a multi-industry forum in New York, and 2 reinsurance legends were there. Our keynote speaker was Brian Dupro, a longtime Bermuda market ambassador and current president and CEO of AIG. The other was his friend, former CEO counterpart, Brian O'Hara, formerly of Excel, and just this month was announced as board member of insurtech startup Envelop Risks. Mr. Dupro is a keen, outspoken proponent of embracing big data and new technologies. So is Mr. O'Hara, who told us that while listening to panels on insurtech and digital assets, he felt an overwhelming sense of deja vu. He said it took him back to the mid-'80s when the 2 Bryans were innovators and disruptors in their own right, when they too were tackling new ways of doing things, but also they had their fair share of naysayers. The pioneering vision carried out by ACE and Excel, of course, changed the risk industry forever. It changed the way excess liability was covered, the way natural catastrophes were covered globally, the way capital was raised and deployed. And that innovation happened right here in Bermuda. Bermuda is indeed a testbed of innovation. As our premier likes to say, we're not just inviting the incubators to set up here. Our whole island is an incubator. Exciting things are percolating in the insurance sector, and the speed at which progress is being made is pretty awesome. Much due to the collaborative efforts by the BMA, the BDA, the Bermuda government, and industry stakeholders, who have done in the past as operating as a unified Team Bermuda. The push this time around is to make Bermuda a global leader in the fintech space. The same features, which for decades have made Bermuda a very successful center for insurance, asset management, private client, trust and private client, are now being extended to tech entrepreneurs looking to set up operations in a sophisticated, modern, and well-regulated jurisdiction. We're not interested in quantity. It's all about quality. And everyone is well aware that any advances we make in this space should not jeopardize the stellar reputation everyone has worked so hard to build over the last couple of decades. As many have rightly pointed out, we have history on our side. Insurance innovation comes naturally to this jurisdiction. The first captives were formed here. The first cat bonds followed. The access capacity crisis was solved here. And now partner capital and insurance tech solutions are forging the future. Bermuda realizes that the way in which companies around the world raise capital, transact business, interact with customer data, and secure their digital assets is changing in a fundamental way. In the same way, the internet transformed everything in 20 years. Now blockchain will cause a wave of new efficiencies and new opportunities. We can't afford to wait. It may appear disruptive, but the cost of not acting swiftly, of not leading the way on this new wave, would be detrimental, not only to Bermuda's reputation, but the ability to do business at a global level. Someone who well understands Bermuda's unique advantages is our Premier. He's Bermuda's youngest ever leader and is himself a tech-savvy entrepreneur. With just 10 months under his belt, he is our strongest advocate to global audiences on the message that Bermuda is different. It is my great pleasure to introduce the Honorable David Burke.